Can you hear me, Cheryl?
Hi, good
Hi.
afternoon, Lisa. I hear you just fine.
No,
I'll just
that's
do a quick introduction.
okay. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Cheryl, and welcome to the Virtual Fair seminars brought to you by IDP Education this weekend, featuring our guest speakers and representatives from various universities in 5 study destinations around the world, who are all experts in their fields on various topics. Today, in particular, we'll just be featuring the representatives from Australia and New Zealand, right? As you can see, the program is on the screen. And before I start this event, I just wanted to touch on some housekeeping matters. Okay, we'll be recording the session today and also broadcasting it live on our Facebook page, so you can engage with us there as well. During the sessions, we'll love to have as many of your questions as possible. So please feel free to use the Q&A button that you see below on your screen and ask away. Ask as many questions as you like throughout the session, and you can post them as early as you like as well. However, each seminar today is only scheduled for 30 minutes. Each 20 minutes of that will be for the presentation, and we'll leave 10 minutes of that for a Q&A at the end. Should we not get to answer all your questions, however, we strongly advise that you re-enter the main virtual fair over at the link that I will put in the chat, because our university representatives and academics will return to their virtual breakout rooms, and you can have a chat with them there. Alternatively, feel free to contact us at the details that you see on your screen, and our team of education counselors will get those answers to you. Speakers, please assist to wrap up each session promptly so that the next seminar can begin on time, and we really appreciate that. Okay, before we begin, let me do a short introduction to IDP for those of you who've come to the session and not sure who IDP is. IDP is a global leader in international education services. Our success comes from connecting students with the right course in the right destination and the right country by providing them with neutral, objective education advice directly from universities and colleges. Now, IDP is co-owned and founded by universities, and since then, we have been the official representatives of over 700 institutions now across 5 study destinations in Australia, New Zealand, UK, Canada, and Ireland. We've been operating for about 50 years now, creating a huge network of opportunity in over 100 offices in over 30 countries. Now, IDP is also the proud co-owner of the IELTS, which is the world's most popular English language test and the operator of 9 English language teaching campuses in Southeast Asia. Now, when you come to an IDP office and contact IDP, you'll be met with our team of friendly counselors who can help you by providing free education counseling that's impartial and objective. We are essentially a one-stop service for students beginning with the exploration and application stage all the way to the point of departure. And our unrivaled experience in technology will help you weigh your options and assess your choices to make sure you're picking what's best for you in your future. Now, our services are all free. We handle every aspect of your education journey until you enroll. And because we were founded by universities and also the official representatives, we do have delegation to waive many application fees and establish direct contact with admissions teams. Thus, we can help with application processing, expediting certain outcomes, helping to link you up with university personnel, coordinate interviews and auditions where necessary. And we also provide exclusive onshore support, as we have onshore services and offices basically in your study destination. So we prepare you before you go, and we can continue servicing you in your study destination after you arrive. In addition to helping you with those university matters from start to end, your counsel will also help you with coordinating a whole host of auxiliary services that you might need as an international student as well. So that includes your accommodation and your student health cover, your student visas and things like that. So we also have many exclusive IDP benefits for you, like our student discount cards. So I would say, if that's a bit confusing, pick up one of these student journey brochures from our counselors when you do meet them, which will definitely help to simplify the entire journey for you. Okay. Lastly, at IDP, we're also at the forefront of technological innovation within the education industry. So with that, we are excited to announce our new IDP Study Abroad app. So this free IDP Study Abroad app provides you with everything you need to prepare your overseas education journey. You'll be able to search for courses from over 650 institutions track your university applications, and get advice from our counselors all through the app. So download it now and get started on the first leg of your overseas education journey. We are also widely present. Oops, sorry about that. We're also widely present on all social media, so please follow and like us on these platforms to keep in touch with more cool events like this one that we'll be organizing throughout the year. Now, we hope to see you in our offices at the Cathay Singapore or in the virtual space. So if you prefer that, just hop on our IDP Singapore website to meet us at our virtual counseling service anytime. That's another new change for all of you to note. And without further ado, I'll be handing this time over to our first speaker for the day, Ms. Lisa D. Sigley, the director at Canning College, who will be talking about pathway to Australian universities. Lisa, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much, Cheryl.
Hello.
Can you
I
hear
hope
me?
I didn't get your last name wrong.
You got it a little bit wrong, but that's understandable. It's a very unusual name. So,
It's
my name is
unique.
Lisa De Challier, and I am Director of International Operations at Canning College. So, you did a pretty good job, Cheryl. Okay, thank you very much.
All right, take it away. I'll just stop sharing and you can put up slides.
Thank you very much. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for taking the time to listen. As said before, I am the Director of Canning College International Operations. Canning College is actually located in Western Australia, which is a perfect place for Singaporean students to come because Western Australia is the same time zone as Singapore. And it's only 5 hours for you to get from Singapore to Western Australia. And I always say to students, it's basically 2 movies and a documentary and you're straight on the aeroplane in Western Australia. So the title of this talk is Canning College Pathways to Universities in Australia. Now, we are an unusual college because first of all, we're government. We've had a huge amount of experience. We've been going for 38 years since 1982. And basically all of our programs provide a pathway to leading universities across Australia. So you do not necessarily have to stay in Western Australia if you would like to go to another state. And even some of our students also advance into universities in other countries as well. So as mentioned before, we've been running since 1982. And then, of course, with COVID, that threw everybody into a tailspin. And we needed to start online programs, which we did in July of 2020. So we have been running programs online as well as onshore for the last 6 months. So it's been quite a learning curve for the teachers, but also quite a few positives have come from that. So I'll talk about that a little in one of the later slides about the online learning. But basically for Singaporean students, the most common program that Singaporean students will come to Western Australia at Canning College would be to do the foundation program. So you can see here that foundation basically makes up 41% of our school population. And on the right-hand side, there's quite a few figures, some statistics from previous foundation years. So basically, if you finished O levels or even N levels, we would look at your application and assess to see whether you can do our foundation program. And that would, in 1 year and even less than 1 year sometimes, will get you accredited to go into a university in Australia and perhaps other places as well. You can see in the pie chart in front of you that 82% of our students tend to progress onto a West Australian university, 14% to universities in other parts of Australia and 4% to overseas universities. But, you know, the other stats in the end of 2019, our top student got 99.7% Okay, that's fairly unusual, but I'm pretty sure the top student from last year also got 98.5%. So we do have some excellent students, but that's not the only students that we concentrate on. We're also happy to see students who are probably not your top student, but also managed to progress through to university through being placed in the correct program and working hard. We have programs right through from year 10. And I do have a couple of Singaporean students who started in year 10 because their parents wanted them to understand the Australian way of education, and therefore it made the transition from year 10 to year 11 to foundation to university even easier. The other thing with Western Australia, quite a few of you probably have travelled to Western Australia already, and it's a very large state and a relatively small population. So we have had limited impact of COVID-19 on our program delivery. Basically, students at Canning College only missed 1 week of classes throughout the whole of 2020, and the staff remained at the school for the entire time. So Western Australia has been very lucky with the way it has dealt with COVID-19. But it's also meant that we have had to start the online program, which has been a success. All right, when you do come to Canning College, and one of the reasons we've been going for 38 years, we totally understand the support services that students need. Now, if you are doing online, you also get this support as well. So accommodation you don't need because you're living at home, but you do have access to the other people who can help you, like advisors, a school psychologist, literacy help if you need it. The Learning Centre is extra help for different subjects. And before exams, we do revision workshops. We will not need to offer the guardianship until you do come over to Western Australia. So just looking at this slide here will tell you how we have gone about our online learning. Now, unlike most universities that just download lectures, ours is run in at the same time, synchronistic with the onshore students. So we have students in the classroom, but we also have students online. So the way it works is students follow a regular timetable. Once students decide what subjects they want to do, they have a timetable. So if your class starts at 8:40 in the morning, you need to log on to your computer at 8:35, and the teachers will conduct the lessons using, they don't use Zoom, but they use a program called WebEx, which is run by the Education Department in Western Australia. So if you were in the classroom, whatever information you would be given, whatever resources you would be handed out, you can access those online by going onto our platform called Connect. So those resources will include things like your daily tasks, your lesson plans, library links to video content, workbooks, and so on. Teachers assign group work that connects online students with each other and to those in the class. So you will probably be sitting in your house with a laptop, and you can see everything that goes on in that classroom. You can talk to the teacher, you can talk to the students, and as it says here, you will even be doing group work with students who are onshore as well as those who are offshore. You're also allocated a care group leader, and if you have any questions, you can contact the care group leader. We have a large student services office, and we are there for about, I think it's 48 weeks, no, even more, 50 weeks a year that we are actually in the office. So you can contact us at any time as well. So that's the way it's working. And we did a survey recently, and the survey said that 96% of the students were very happy with it. So I'll just quickly show you the program. So we have Bridging, Year 10, Year 11, WACE, Foundation, Certificate 4, and Diploma. Now I'm going to be quick because we're running out of a bit of time, but as I said before, this foundation program is the one that is the most popular. We have 3 entry points, January and April, finish in November. So the April one is usually for students who are above average academically, because it's a fast track program. You have to cover the same content as the students who start in January. And when I say January, it's actually right at the end. And this year it's starting on the 2nd of February. So there is still time to enroll with us to start in this program. It can be packaged with other universities, with West Australian universities. So if you want to do, say, physiotherapy, you would get the agent to package foundation plus physiotherapy at Curtin University, for example. Okay, these are the subjects that you would choose. So unlike other places where they offer a foundation in a certain subject or subject area, ours is an overall program. It's based on the same syllabus as Year 12 that local students would do to get to university. So when you go to university and you've studied physics, you've studied exactly the same program as what the local students in an Australian university have studied. So 9 hours compulsory English, and then you choose 3 or 4 of the following subjects. You can see that the subjects fit into either business or into science-based subjects. So you would just have a session with either myself or one of the advisors, and we would help you choose the subjects that we think would be best for your program when you go to university. Okay, I won't bother talking about this, but if ever you need questions about waste, you can ask me that. All right, this map shows you all the different places that you go. As mentioned before, most of our students go to either University of Western Australia, Curtin University, Murdoch University, Edith Cowan, University of Notre Dame. Now, these universities are all known for something in particular. Murdoch University is very well known for the fact that you can study veterinary science. And many students from Singapore are interested in that program. So therefore, they have to package with animal science, and then they can apply to get into vet science as well. Down the bottom of the screen, it shows you some of the universities that our students in the past have gone to from Canning College. So it's not limited to the universities that are stated. They are simply the ones that we've had in recent years. Okay, this is a quick snapshot at the end of 2019. So these students in 2020 went on to all of these different universities. I haven't got the new data for our latest group of students because they haven't sent in all of that yet. So in 2019, top student was a boy from Penang, and he went on to the University of Adelaide to study a Bachelor of Advanced Science. The next top student was a girl who went on to a university in Korea. The boy from China, he went to the University of Sydney, and he is studying the Bachelor of Commerce. The next one, a boy from Singapore, he wanted to do physiotherapy at Curtin University. So he is now come to the end of his first year of physiotherapy. Bear in mind, we're located right next door to Curtin University. So we often see our past students who are at Curtin, they'll come back and see us quite often. The next girl, a girl from Indonesia, went on to the University of Melbourne, and she is now studying the Bachelor of Science. And the sixth top student was a student from Malaysia who went on to study Bachelor of Commerce at the University of Western Australia. So it's really good to just see that this is your choice. You are not stuck with just one university. If you package, yes, you are, because you're signing a contract to say that you want to stay in Western Australia and go to whatever university. But if you just apply to do foundation, you can make your decision toward the end of that foundation year. Okay, I'll just skip over this. Another good program for students who are interested in business is the Certificate for University Access program. This program is only 6 months, so it's 2 terms. And basically, if you complete that, you can progress into Curtin University or Murdoch University to do degrees that require an ATAR of 70. Otherwise, you can progress into Canning College's Diploma of Commerce. Now, that is the equivalent of first year university in commerce. So after you do our Diploma of Commerce, you can then progress into one of the West Australian universities. Okay, you don't go over east with that diploma, but the one that takes you everywhere is Foundation. Certificate 4 will take you just directly to Murdoch or Curtin University, but if you do our diploma, you can go to one of the 4 West Australian universities. Okay, Certificate 4 subjects are all business-based, and the same with diploma subjects, all business-based. Okay, so you decide whether you want to go into UWA stream, which will take you directly to the University of Western Australia. Bear in mind the University of Western Australia is one of the group of 8, and that's why it's extremely popular. But our other universities also very good universities and well-known. Curtin stream can take you to any of the universities in Western Australia, except for not University of Western Australia. Okay, so year 11, if you're studying the equivalent of year 10, at the moment you can come into year 11 and the same with year 10. I won't spend too much time on that. Our IELTS requirements are not normally needed for students coming in from Singapore because you have done all of your studies in English. So as long as you have passed English in the appropriate level, for example, in O levels, if you've passed English, then you would come straight through without needing to do IELTS. Okay, tuition fees, important. Foundation fees are $23,500 per year, and that's Australian dollars, very similar to Singaporean dollars as well. Certificate 4 is cheaper because it's only a 6-month program, $14,739. The Diploma of Commerce, $25,000 because that is a first-year university course, and compared to universities, that's extremely cheap as well. We do have scholarships, so if you're doing extremely well in Singapore and getting A's and A+, you can put in an application through your agent to get a scholarship. And Foundation is either the top scholarship, 10,000, then 7,000, 5,000. Diploma of Commerce, because that's quite cheap for first year university. The top scholarship is 5,000 and Certificate 4, 3,000. If you've had a family member come to Canning College, we'll give you a 10% discount just as a family bursary. If you do Foundation and then you decide to go into Diploma, but you're not packaged for that, you also get a returning student discount of 10%. Okay, accommodation options. I don't need to talk about those until you do get to Perth. So the idea with, at the moment, with COVID-19, we will start all programs with students overseas online, and then when the travel restrictions are removed, we expect you to fly over to Perth and join your classmates in the classroom. And then we would discuss things like accommodation. Our location on this map here, we're 7 kilometres from the CBD, and we are right next door to Curtin University. It's a nice campus, lovely gardens, just 1 story high, very, very nice surroundings as well. If you haven't been to Western Australia, I hope you get here soon. It's an absolutely beautiful state to come to, beautiful surroundings, lovely natural attractions, not too crowded, and as I said before, on the same time zone as Singapore. So I've finished that presentation now. I wonder if we've got 5 minutes. Cheryl, you think we've got 5 minutes to show the try and show the YouTube video?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you go ahead and share that. You just need to make sure you share your screen with audio, with computers down. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll try and get onto this.
No problem. Take your time. The next one's at 2:45, so you've got plenty.
That's good. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I don't know if I can find it now, Cheryl.
No.
So, oh, hold on. Yes, I can. Let me get rid of this. No. It's on the toolbar, so I can't see it. No, not that one. No, not that. Go that way. Yes, good. Okay, it's just a quick 5-minute video. It's got all the words written down there for you, the captions, in case it does lag a little bit. And it just tells you a little bit about what it's like at Canning College. So, of course, a lot of it is for when you actually get here. I think it's lagging now.
No worries. You just press pause and then let it look for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. See, so when the gray bar goes a little hit, then you can press play. Yeah.
Okay.
You can pause it first. Yeah.
Okay, and then play.
It's so cute. The canvas is really cute.
And they're lovely, aren't they? Okay, so very much. Oh, still no. Hold on.
Oh,
Okay, it's gone.
nice. Maybe you could put a link to the video
Um,
in the chat.
okay, good.
Yeah, and then like the students can also view that. They can go away and view it on their computers.
Good. And in fact, there's lots of videos on our Canning College YouTube. So I can put all of that in. So, yep, I can do that. That's no problem. And just click on that. So are there any questions at all that anyone's got?
Yes, let's have a look at the Q&A. Let me check the chat as well. Okay, so let's just give it a few minutes since the other speaker isn't in the Zoom yet. We can take a couple of questions. Students, if you have anything to ask about Perth, the COVID situation, if you'd like Lisa to repeat that bit, if you've just come in, or if you'd like to know, about individual sort of scenarios that you've got for Lisa, or about the foundation program about Perth, or about any of the destination universities that can name pathways to, feel free to put that down. And then we can address that in a little bit.
Okay,
We've got so many participants today. We've got 26 students. So Lisa.
That's good, but they're all very silent and they don't want to talk to me.
Oh, I think you might have had a very comprehensive session, so pretty much covered it.
I'll put the YouTube link onto the chat button.
Really?
And really, if students think of something later on, and as I say, our Singaporean students are always great, and I've got probably 5 who were involved in the mid-year foundation. So that started in July of 2020, and we had 3 students onshore in the classroom and 19 offshore. And I think it was 5 or 6 who were from Singapore, and they're all doing well. They're passing, they passed their semester 1 exams, and it means that in the middle of the year, they will be ready to go into university. So whether they can come to Western Australia or Australia, it doesn't really matter because they can continue doing it online with the universities. But it just means that you're not wasting another year waiting for COVID to finish. So basically, if you come to us, start online, hopefully you will get to Western Australia sometime during 2021. But even so, even if you don't, you're not wasting this year and you'll be ready to get into university of your choice. So I think it's probably a good idea to just make that decision and no more sitting around waiting. You can get this done and get into an Australian university within the year. So that's what I'm thinking.
And I must say, because I've been keeping like initially I was keeping on track with the news. I know Perth has done excellently with COVID.
We have.
Fantastic. Yeah. You guys have really contained it so well.
Yeah. I think a lot of that is down to the fact that of the travel restrictions, because that's even from within Australia. The minute there is a problem in another state, we shut the borders. And because we are right on the left-hand side, so, people have to usually hop on an aeroplane to come to us. So it is reasonably easy to do that. And, of course, it's not great for us at Canning because we want our international students to come over. But the fact that the online is working so well, at least we know that when our students come to us, they will be safe. Okay, so that's one good thing. And the students that we have with us, most of them chose, like our year 10 and 11 students who are returning from last year, most of them chose to remain in Perth and not go back because they were worried about not being able to come back in.
Right.
Right. So we say that to the parents. We're sending them information constantly to say, they are probably in the best place in the world for restrictive behaviour with COVID. Yeah.
This is true. Maybe I could just ask some of the more popular questions that we always get, and that information changes year on year, students. So it's always good to sort of keep in contact with us and with your IDP counsellor, because they can get that information to you on a year-on-year basis. But Lisa, I know Canning runs the foundation programs or the preparatory programs the pathway programs to a lot of popular physiotherapy programs over at Curtin University,
Yes.
right? And
Very,
that's
very
actually one of our most popular pathways.
yeah.
I know the students doing foundation, but would that be a quota? What's the international quota for students who are
Well,
looking?
actually, there is no quota for Canning students. There's quota for everybody else, but Canning students, as long as they get an average of 70% and study one science subject, as long as they get that, they go straight in. There is no query of that. So 70% is equivalent to an ATAR of 90. Now, other students coming in from other schools, if they get an ATAR of 90, that doesn't mean that they necessarily get in, because yeah, if there's too many students applying and not enough places, and our students too, foundation results come out quite a long time before the local year 12 results. So all of our students, if they get 70 or over, they will get into physiotherapy. No questions asked. They have to pass English, of course, and have that 70% and a science subject straight in. Okay, so I think, you know, if you are keen on getting into physiotherapy, we are definitely the best place for the part-time program. Absolutely.
Amazing. Thank you so much for like, you know, for saying that as well. I think that definitely builds a lot of confidence with students are going to Canning. That's definitely a great advantage of doing the program there at Canning. Would that also apply for the other allied health programs?
Yes, it does, like speech pathology, occupational therapy, and so on, as long as they reach the required score. And the universities always say they want Canning College students because they are well prepared. I mean, they are really well prepared to go into university. So yes, I think about that. If you want to make sure that you've got that assured pathway and you can work hard, well, definitely, it would be
fantastic. Good. So it's an amazing offering, safe environment, great support, great guaranteed pathways should you meet the entry requirement. And that's pretty much, you know, and quite budget friendly, I think.
Yeah, it is reasonably budget friendly compared to others because everything is included in that. Now, some students are saying, oh, but isn't online cheaper? Well, online actually costs us more to run than onshore. But the thing is, you are saving money on your accommodation and on your flights and living expenses. So maybe just take that into account and just know that you will be ready for an Australian university once you've completed our program.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Lisa, for the comprehensive overview. Thank you for taking all the questions. There's actually a question in the chat now, I can see. Yes, Jason has posed a question, but because we have our speaker in our Zoom call now, and it's time for his slot, perhaps, Jason, we could get you to hop on to that main seminar link where you can speak to Lisa or our counselors to get a brief overview of marketing degrees. Canning can definitely assist you with if you need a pathway to marketing. No worries.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll join the other one, and Jason, just join my meeting room, and I can have a chat with you.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Lisa.